Welcome to our Yin Yoga class. My name is Tammy. Thank you for joining me. Our class is Yin Yoga and breath work. We'll focus on using our fingers to help control our breath first, and it is lunar breathing. So come to your mat into easy pose, crossing your legs. If this pose does not work for you, you can sit on a chair or you can sit on blocks, stacking them up. If your hips are higher than your knees, it helps to take pressure off maybe of the lower back or your hamstrings too. So let yourself relax here by just taking a normal breath and breathing out through the mouth. So breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth, breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth, breathing in through the nose, and exhaling through the mouth. Letting it all go, let all that adrenaline go. Feeling your body soften with that exhale breath. Yin Yoga uses the Ujjayi breath. It is breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose. Seeing if you can hear your breath. You may have your eyes closed, or you can open your eyes. Finding what's going to work for you. Turning your focus inward, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Hear your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhaling through the nose. And exhale through the nose. Seeing if you can inhale and exhale for longer periods of time. We may inhale for 4 seconds. We can exhale now for 6 seconds, letting it go. Inhaling for 4 seconds. Exhaling for 6. Continue to breathe like that. Opening up your eyes. So really when we start to focus inward, if your mind or your body is very busy, come to your breath. So focusing inward, come to your breath, and then it'll help to soothe your nervous system, help you to come back to that mind-body connection. Now into our lunar breath. It is with your thumb and your pinky finger. We place our thumb over the nose. So you using whichever hand it is for your dominant hand, right or left, and placing your thumb over your nose. You may watch me first. I inhale through one nostril, exhale through, so release my thumb. I'm going to plug my other nostril, release my thumb and exhale. Inhale through that nostril. Exhale, so plug that nostril. Exhale through the other. Inhale. Plug. Exhale through the other nostril. Inhale. Exhale through my other, so plug and exhale. Inhale through the same. Exhale. We inhale. Plug, exhale through the other. Inhale. Exhale through the other nostril. Inhale. Plug, exhale through the other nostril. Inhale. Exhale through the other nostril, so plug and exhale. Inhale. Exhale, plug, exhale through the other. Inhale. Plug, exhale. Inhale. Plug, exhale through the other. Inhale. Plug, exhale. And release, we inhale. Hand down to your knee. Exhale. Really nice for turning inward for that breath again and clearing our mind and starting to feel open with your breath. Coming into another pose. This was easy pose, or you may be in another pose, into reclined butterfly. You do not have to lie back if you don't want to on the ground. So I'm just going to get my pillows, my props for cushions for both sides of my knees. And coming into a recline, you can be lying on something. So you can use a bolster. I'll show you a couple different ways, but one way would be coming onto the side of the body, turning your head so you're facing, your head is towards the front of your mat, and then knees are bent. Let your pelvis settle into the ground. Turn your knees out to the sides like this, and then placing one pillow under one knee and then the other pillow under the other knee. You can also do this sitting upright, so you can be seated and then turning the knees out. Let your eyes close. Come back to your breath. The Ujjayi breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And you may want to count your breaths out. With the inhale breath, it is inhaling for 4 seconds. The exhale breath, exhaling for 6 seconds. Turning your attention to your breath, it helps for self-regulation. So helping to find that calm, helping to increase awareness. Some other benefits: relieving insomnia, slowing our heart rate. So really nice for that hypertension when we're feeling up, lowering blood pressure. You may turn your palms so that your palms are up towards the sky. The Ujjayi breath, it's also called a victorious breath. So thinking about that yourself, a victorious breath. that strength, that power, feeling that victory. You are in control. You are able to regulate how you feel. You are able to be consciously aware of how you feel and being able to come back to yourself. Our breath is a slow, steady breath. Hearing our breath. Continue to be in butterfly. I will show the option of having a prop underneath of the body and being able to lie on it if you are in butterfly. With intention, feel your abdomen, your chest opening up with the inhale breath. With the exhale breath, feeling the letting go, softening. With the inhale breath, feeling the rise of your abdomen, your chest, breathing into the sides of the body, breathing into the back. Exhale breath, feel the letting go and the softness. Coming out of butterfly, if you're lying on your back, you may turn one knee up and then the other knee up towards the sky. And then rolling over to your right side. Take a moment in fetal and then make your way back up. Everything nice and slow and controlled. And we turn towards the front of our mat for our next pose for caterpillar. Forward fold, so the opposite of what we just did. You may use a bolster, or you could use pillows so that you're just having them one after the other here. And we tuck those pillows in. And this is a really nice firm pillow, so it works great. Remove the fleshy part from your bottom. And inhale, we lift up. Exhale, you can fold over. If you don't have a pillow, you don't need one. You can use your elbows down and your palms to let the forehead rest. You can just let the body hang over. And use your breath to help to let go. The slow, steady breath, calming our nervous system. 45 more seconds. For the last 15 seconds, we make our way out, caterpillar. Come up nice and slow. Placing any of our supports to the side. We may then bend through the knees, so placing your hands behind your bottom, bending through the knees. And taking your feet wider than the hips and windshield wiper in side to side. Feeling that nice massage, your pelvis. Come back into, I shouldn't say come back, but into all fours now. So coming back into facing the front mat with the head. Okay. So all fours. Taking that pressure off of our wrists by using your finger pads to grip the mat. In all fours here, we can wipe our tail. So through the tailbone, just a little shift. And then what we hold. Into the first pose would be cow. Engage your bandhas, draw the navel in, and we inhale to cow. Draw your heart up to the sky. And we exhale to cat. Nice big arch, drawing your tailbone down. Inhale, drawing your tailbone up into cow. Exhale to cat, drawing your tailbone down. Inhale to cow, drawing your tailbone up. Exhale to cat. Then to a neutral spine. Our next pose is child's pose. They can come into child's pose in different ways. Turning your knees out to the sides, uncurling the toes and sitting the bottom back and letting the forehead rest this way. You can also have your hands forward and let the forehead rest on your hands. Which is how we had our knees before. So your knees could be forward facing and then sit back into the heels and let the forehead rest on your mat, your hands, however you like, finding what's going to work for you. I could have my elbows down like I had before and then letting my hands rest into my palms. Now sometimes child's pose does not work for our knees. So you can lay on the side of your body or you can come into cradle. Lie on your back and knees into the chest. You can also use a chair. Finding whichever pose will work for you. We'll be in child's pose for about 2 minutes. Focusing on our breath for the last minute, letting your body soften, using that exhale breath to help let the body soften, letting go. Coming out of child's pose, coming back up and into our next pose, which will be shoelace. Shoelace is with the goal of having our knees stacked on top of each other. I will give you options for this one too. So finding what's going to work for you. Shoelace would be, the full shoelace would be having your right leg crossed over top of the left leg and having your knees stacked on top of each other. And you can hold on to, just gently onto your ankles and now the fold forward. Lovely stretch right into those hips. An option would be having your left leg forward and crossing your right leg over top like this. You can also sit in a chair and having your leg crossed over top of the other. Whatever you choose, finding what's going to work for you, and then make your way into stillness, turning inward, turn to your breath. Notice your heart rate. We're about halfway through our class. Letting your heart rate soften. We've been really beating hard at first. So feeling that letting go, letting your heart rate slow down. Your breath is a slow, steady breath. Let your shoulders soften. Your upper body could fold forward. Forty-five more seconds. Coming out of shoelace slowly and into the other side. You may want to just take a little break here by doing a windshield wiper through the knees like we did previously. Or you can take the legs forward and then just give them a little shake, shake, shake. Into the other side. This time the left leg crosses over top of the right. So you can have your right leg forward and then crossing the left leg over top of the right. Or crossing both of the knees. Left leg over top and lining up your knees is the goal. Holding on to your ankles. And into the hips we stretch. With the inhale breath, drawing up. With the exhale breath, you may add the fold forward. Let your head hang. Use your breath to help let the shoulders soften. Slowly coming roll the shoelace. Twist. And we take the legs forward. You can windshield wiper, or you can take the legs forward and do that little shake, shake, shake. I'll keep the legs. Whichever one will work for you. Our next pose, dragonfly, coming into a V and opening up those legs nice and wide. So you can see one of my legs here on the foot, but there are my toes pointing up towards the ceiling. So let's point your toes up and then just let your legs go, let them soften. And our pillows again. You can place your pillow, unless you have a bolster, but place your pillows in between your inner thighs. You can also stack those pillows on top of each other to get that forward fold. Another way to do this so that you will have your hips higher than the knees would be sitting on a pillow. And then my hips are higher, and then I can actually come down lower to the ground. So if you want to try that, you can do that because it was so great. Yeah, so a nice firm pillow to sit on, and then you can add that fold forward. I'm going to use my bolster. I'm going to place it between my inner thighs. I'm also going to sit on a pillow. And now let's add the fold. We inhale, we draw up, and we exhale, we fold forward. Now that forehead, it could just fold forward. You can let it rest. You can on your hands, or you can turn your cheek and let the cheek rest. Just adjust however you see fit with those supports. I have lots of supports around me to help. Doing the same so that you can come into these poses and let go. Let yourself release. "45 more seconds." Coming out of dragonfly. Being mindful how you do so. If your cheek was resting on your pillow, you can turn your head the other way and let it rest for a moment. And then make your way back up. Now, I don't think I said having your sitting on a cushion too, so just lifting yourself up so that your hips are higher than the knees. That also helps take pressure off the lower back. Usually after a busy day, it'd be tight. Okay, bending through the knees. I'm just gonna move my cushions away nice and slow. Just nice and slow with your movements here. Be gentle. For our next pose, we won't need props. It's dragon. coming into dragon, we come to all fours like we did before, then into downward facing dog. So we step forward with the right hand, left hand, coming into downward facing dog, three-legged dog. So we're on the balls of the feet here. Engage your bandhas. We draw the right leg up to the sky. We bend through the knee and step your foot forward to the outside of the right wrist. Now, tempt your fingers too to take pressure off of the wrist. See if that may help. You can also take the knee down towards the mat, which is good to do. If you have a knee block, you can place it underneath your knee. If you don't have a knee block, you can double up. So I have double up my mat, but you can give your knee a little bit more cushion with the mat. So double it up or whatever you're going to do so to help that knee to take pressure off. Now open up your legs enough so that you can sink your pelvis down towards the ground. And a little bit more opening into the right side of the hip. So we're stretching into the right side of the hip. Would be having your forearms come down towards the ground. Now we settle. Now we turn inwards. We turn to our breath, breathing into all those areas that are tight. We exhale, let it go. Let your head hang. Let your pelvis release into the earth. Making your way out of dragonfly. Coming up slow. You may come to all fours, child's pose, or back into downward facing dog. Now you can come into dragon by all fours and then stepping the left foot forward that way, or downward facing dog into three-legged dog, and then bend to the knee and step onto the outside of the left wrist. Your right leg may be up. I should say your right knee may be up, so not resting onto your mat, or bring it down. Now let the pelvis sink down into the ground. Let it go. Let yourself surrender, release. You may bring your forearms down to the ground. Now, some of you know that dragon wasn't my favorite pose at first. I felt really sick when I would come into this pose. It made me feel nauseous. The reason why was because my hips, my pelvis was very tight. And with a lot of women. This is where I was holding a lot of my body, kind of taking it all in really tight. So opening up, at first I felt it made me feel nauseous. So just checking in with yourself, seeing how you feel. If you ever need to take a break, please do so. You can come into another pose if this one does not work for you too. When we come out of dragon, ever so gently, you may come to all fours, you may come into child's pose, you may come into downward facing dog, and then to all fours, and then onto your bottom. Coming down to the ground now. So we'll come down to the ground, turning onto the side, and then roll over to your back. Take your knees into the chest. And feel your pelvis soften this way. So we're just going to let our legs just be drawn down. You can have your hands underneath of your knee pits, letting them just feel that pressure coming down from your calves. Nice little compression into our hands. Let's do a little movement side to side. Massage our organs here. Any kind of massaging your organs, movement on your belly. It's really good to, of course, massage your organs, getting them moving and helping to regulate ourselves so we can come back to a feeling of calm. Our next pose will be bridge, supported bridge. Taking our right foot down, left foot down to the ground. Now, supported bridge, you can place pillows underneath of your pelvis. When we come into supported bridge, we never want to be looking around. So if you need to see what I'm doing at first, you may look and then come into supported bridge yourself. So with a pillow, I'll place it underneath of my pelvis. Now this pillow is not high enough. So I would stack a couple pillows underneath of my pelvis. So I can just roll over to the side place my pillows, and then come back. But I'm going to actually use blocks because sometimes it can be a little bit awkward with pillows that you noticed to come into it. So I'm going to use a block, and I'm going to just use one block. So if you do have a block, it is definitely easier to come into this pose. And I'll use my cork block because it's sturdier than my foam block. And the middle height that I will use. So not the tallest height, middle height. So middle level, I place it underneath of my sacrum. I continue to look up at the sky. If you do not have a block, you may use one pillow. Two blocks two pillows, it might be really, just too hard and awkward. Placing your hands palms down towards the ground. And then finding stillness. Now turn your palms up to the sky. See if that's a little bit different for you. You might feel a little bit more opening and enjoy this opening. Feeling the opening come through the front of your body with your breath. We inhale, open through the front of our body. And then we exhale, let your body soften. Coming out of bridge, removing whatever prop that you have underneath of your pelvis, and then let your pelvis come back down towards the ground. Our final pose, Shavasana, pentacle, that we would be opening up our body. You may lie on your back. Your knees may be bent, or your legs could be straight. You could also have legs up the wall. You can have your legs up the wall by just lifting them, raising them, or actually use a wall and place your legs against the wall. If this does not work for you, you may lie on the side of your body. You could also sit in a meditative pose. Whatever you choose. You may also want to use a blanket to cover your body. So finding what you need to do right now for yourself. If you have any props around your body that you're touching, just set them a little bit further away from your body so that you're not touching them and so it doesn't block your energy flow. Come to a natural breath our eyes closed. Your eye sockets feel heavy. Your lips part. Feel your face soften. Your shoulders give way. Feel your body surrender to the earth. Let the earth absorb what you do not need. We'll be in Shavasana for a few minutes. I will call you back when it is time. Slowly coming back. Keeping this calm with you. Calm that you feel from within. Letting this calm surround you. Feeling a warmth around you. Slowly we wiggle our toes and our fingers. Maybe a little shift through our body. If you're lying on your back, you may bend through the knees one at a time and then bring your right arm overhead and roll over to your right side to fetal. We take a moment in fetal. And then making your way up to a comfortable seated position. You may sit on a chair. You can sit in easy pose, or you can sit on a block with your hips higher than the knees. Placing your hands to your heart center. Thank you so much for joining me and sharing your practice. Moving through the rest of our week, coming back to our breath. Namaste.